saving and budgeting is like way, way, way back, right? From the days of the Bible, the early history, right? When people were like, oh, this and this, there's going to be 7 days of plenty, 7 years of plenty, and there's going to be 7 years uh of drought, right? So what we can do is during the time of plenty, probably we plant more, right? We do more harvest and we get to save, right, for the years of drought. Which is the same thing that we are doing now. Naturally, human beings are always like, we are mostly at the stage where we actually don't have enough, right? Even the guys that are actually like very, very rich, the so-called rich guys, they're always not having enough, right? To be very sincere, everybody don't have enough on earth. It's just that the stages that we are in is quite different. We are at different levels, right? For you, your own not having enough might be not having enough money to buy an extra shawarma, right? When you want to buy two. But for other people, their own not having enough might be they don't have enough to fuel their second car. For some other people, their whole not having enough might be, oh, they don't have enough cash to actually paint their new house, right? It's just different, but the concept has always been like that, right? So, like I was saying, budgeting itself is all about rationing, planning, right? Like the illustration I was using before, we've had if you had watched movie before, probably sci-fi movies or all these movies where people probably crash land somewhere or something probably happen and there's limit, they can't go anywhere, they can't call for help or something, and there's limited supply of food, water, and all. You start hearing stuff like, oh, we need to start rationing. Rationing means everybody don't just do things the way they want, right? We get to like allocate. It's not managing, it's more like allocating to achieve our goal. In that case of those people that are probably like stranded, their goal will be, oh, we want to survive the period of this so that we can get to where we are safe. So what they will do is, oh, let's ration. Their goal is they want to survive. So they have to like start planning, which is basically what budgeting is. Budgeting is not you stopping yourself from spending money, right? Budgeting is not you stopping yourself from spending money or enjoying your life. It's more about, oh, putting plan around your life. So there's this thing that I actually learned, right? I think I saw it from Zig Ziglar, right? He said, if you have a life and you feel like you should not have structure or frameworks or principle that guides your life, that's actually not freedom. You just feel like, yeah, we all think we should be able to do anything we want, anytime we want. But it's not about the freedom itself. Freedom at its core is not about you just, I mean, you have 100,000 enter your account today. You just spend anyhow, and that's really not freedom. It's in itself, it's form of a slavery. The way he put it, he said it's more like slavery to oneself, to one desire. Freedom in itself is you being able to like control what you're doing, having structures that control what you're doing, because it gives you enough freedom to not bother about the basic things, right? I mean, imagine you don't have to think about this money is not enough because you've already arranged your finances in such a way that you're actually not bothered about something, right? I mean, let's take for example now. For me now, uh I tested something out last year December, and actually it works first time, second time, and I'm still like in the testing phase for the third time. If it works for the third time, I'm going to like continue. So what I tested was uh accidentally, right? I work for a company, right? And accidentally the payment was delayed, right? Last year it was delayed for 2 months, right? So I was like, okay, no problem. It was delayed for a month, and when it was supposed to end, I just said, okay, let me just wait up and just collect the 2 months together, and so that I mean it can look like every cash, right? Everybody wants to feel like they are boss. So I was like, okay, let me wait up. So when the money came, I was like, oh, cool. So what I did was I was like, okay, if this money came now, let's say I'd find alternatives to actually take care of myself for the previous month. So now that the money has entered now, what if I just stock up for a period of 2 months? So let's imagine that, okay, worst case scenario, I mean, let's say it's just COVID, right? Worst case scenario, I just have something just come up, right? And I'm like, okay, what if I could just like stock up things like the basic things that I need, let's say data, lights, food, basically what we need to actually survive in this age, which is like primarily internet. as long as you can connect to internet, you could, then you have food, right? The remaining are more like no necessity to that extent. So I thought, okay, let me just stock up stuff like that. I don't actually like, I don't have to bother. So I just did that stock up stuff like that for like 2 months straight, right? And as we entered this year, I was like, oh, this is feeling good, right? I mean, I was making the joke in December that I'm still spending money from November in December. And most people thought I was just whining. But in actual sense, I was actually like low-key giving out something I was testing, right? So what I did that for the last year. This year also, I tested it. So by the time that finished, I just got another batch for 2 months. And I've actually not been now. I'm getting. My mind is shifting to the cycle of me only like getting to spend that particular stream of income every 2 months, and I'm like, okay, everything is good. I mean, if I need grocery, I get them for 2 months, and luckily, I actually don't consume that much. So if I get a family size of cereal, let's say cornflakes, it takes me like 2 months to actually finish it. So if I anytime I just try to get for 2 months, down to bathing soap and stuff like that. And for me, that's like budgeting. That's one tip that I actually tested and I'm still testing that is working for me when it comes to budgeting. So that way, when I buy for 2 months, when I buy stuff for like that, I actually don't get to bother about the immediate stuff. My mind is more focused on the long term and things that actually work right. So, and that's one thing that budgeting is all about. Budgeting is all about you planning your income and expenses to achieve your goal. My own goal, for example, is I actually don't want to bother about basic stuffs. I honestly, I don't want to bother about basic stuff, right? That was one thing I did early this year. I was like, oh, data is one thing that bothers me. And sometimes I forget to buy data. I'm like, okay, let me just, since I've been testing this in other areas, let me just include data to it. Let me buy data for 3 months straight. And I did that. And I mean, although it was expensive at the initial stage, right? But when I did it, it kind of actually like work, right? Because after that, I just forgot that there's something called data. I just like it's just giving freedom of I can wake up at any time, I can do this. And another thing that I had actually tested was me getting solar pack at the beginning of the year. So my thought was even if I have a generator, if I run a generator, I'll run it an average of, let's say, with the expensive fuel price, I'll probably run like 20K if I run steady minimum of fuel. So what if I just compress all this money together, right? And I just go get a solar pack and I can just have the freedom of I can wake up anytime and do my work, right? Instead of being scared of Akure Nepa. So that's what I feel like budgeting is all about. Planning your income and expenses. It's all about okay, knowing where your money is coming from, knowing what you need to spend money on, then how being like strategic. The way product managers would put it is, you have to be able to manage team members and things and everything, requirement and everything. The way I would also say it as a business analyst is I be able to manage requirement and business need and technological requirement, right? So that's basically what budgeting is. You know where your money is coming from. Your money is coming from one place, two places, or three places. You know where your money needs to go. You need to pay bills, pay this and this and this. You need to save, right? How can you manage it together? That's practically what budgeting is. And when you now start to write it down, it's just you practicing it. So it's not about you putting a burden on yourself, right? It's just about you getting to like plan properly, right? So then the next thing, okay, what is savings now? Savings is the way I would define saving for myself is a portion of my income, right, that I pay myself. And for me, I got this phrase from the Bible, and it says, "What you actually save, it's the seed." Yeah, it says the Lord gives bread to the eater and seed to the sower. So I was contemplating on that, and I discovered that wait, why is he giving bread to somebody and is giving seed to the other person? So I discovered that saving itself is not like a restriction for you to say for people to say don't spend all your money. It's just a way for you to actually pay yourself and actually build wealth from whatever you're making. I mean, I've had people say you have to be your own boss to be wealthy. You have to be your own boss to be rich. And I've discovered that it's a freaking lie, right? Because I've seen guys that actually like 9 to 5 and they're actually like very wealthy. They take their own vacation, they enjoy, they rock their fashion, they do stuff right. So it's all about getting the basics right. So defining savings as a portion of income that you pay yourself. Let me elaborate that a little bit. So let's say I work now, I'm a developer now, and I get paid. Let's say I'm a developer now, and I get paid let's say 100,000 per month, hypothetically. I get paid 100,000 per month. If I'm getting paid 100,000 per month, an average person will think that 100,000 per month is is for me completely, right? We all have that thought that since I'm the one working, the money is coming to my account. The 100,000 is for me, is my money. But when you look at it critically, in natural sense, the money is not really for you. To be very sincere, I got this from reading and practicing Richest Man in Babylon. So the way the author explained it, which I've actually practiced and I've studied, right, is that when you when you get paid, so let's say I get paid 100K now, before my payday, right, there are things that I've actually like I have used, right, or they are like raw materials that has actually like powered me to be able to carry out my work of being a developer, right? These include internet, right? Includes electricity, includes food, right? So that means when I get paid, even though I don't owe anybody, right? When I get paid today now, tomorrow now, I'll probably have to buy internet, right? Maybe I run out of internet. I'm somebody that uses workspace. Let's say I use a correct company. I'll have to probably go to the workspace and pay them, right? Then I will have to probably buy food stuffs, or if I eat outside, I have to pay somebody to cook the food or something, right? So when you look at it, you see that if you're getting paid 100K, large proportion, if not all of the money, will just come into your account and goes to someone else, basically. So when you look at it, you discover that not all your money is for you, because you pay somebody. So the money is just, in Lai's voice, is a currency, it's just flowing through your hand and it's going somewhere else. So when you now saving is now you saying, okay, out of this 100K, I have come to reality, and I have accepted that, okay, I've come to the reality that this 100K, I'm just receiving it, right, to power the resources and everything that I need to do my work. So I have to pay people. So out of this 100K, I want to claim a certain portion of it for myself that nobody on this earth will have claim on it, not even MTN, not even the person selling foodstuff, not the person selling fuel or anything. That is what saving is basically. So when you keep it aside, is not meant to be spent on anything, not meant to be going out to anything, except let's say you want to invest, right? That's the concept of paying yourself, right? So I do hope you really get it. And if you really want to get the put more flesh around it, you can like grab Richest Man in Babylon and read it through. So another thing that I want to share is why do you like save, right? I've already said it that saving itself is a way of paying yourself, because most of the money that we make is not for us, it's for the person that is selling shoe, that is selling rice, that is selling, you get the gist. So why do we save? For me, when I was preparing for this stuff, right, the primary reason that I feel like we save is one is for emergency fund, right? Why you should save? You should save up for emergency fund, right? I mean, we've been in situations where something unexpected happen, and we're like, we'll be able to like pull up or call somebody, hey, do you have so amount, right? So what if the person you're calling, your first line of defense is actually yourself, right? I mean, I've had cases like that, cases that are actually good, cases that are actually bad, health issues and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, sure, let's have it. I mean, there was a time that I had a few phones saved up, right? And my brother was not in the country and my mom was sick, right? Took her to the hospital, it was like in the night. And they're like, oh, we need to sort some stuff. And I feel like there's this confidence that money actually brings, right? I had that money saved. I just removed everything from the piggy vest and I was like, all right, let's just get this person, all right, whatever you want to spend, this is my car. Let's just get started. Right. I mean, emergency fund for you could be, you might be traveling tomorrow and you put your laptop in your bag and the driver accidentally dropped your bag or something and your screen crashed. What do you do, right? It could, so what that's one of the reasons why you should actually save, right? Then another thing is, apart from paying yourself first, emergency fund, then another thing is investing on building wealth, right? People that have said, so sorry for the dogs that are barking. People that have said, oh, you can't become rich, you can't be wealthy with 9 to 5. Most of the time, they're saying this from from the perspective of people that are actually like, uh, 1 minute. Sorry, this. Sorry. Yeah, so I was saying people that actually say, oh, you can't get rich with 9 to 5 and all, is because one, they've discovered that most people actually don't have saving culture and there's no plan to actually do that, right? So to actually disprove that, the only way to disprove that is to build wealth with your savings. And the way you can do that is not by spending everything that comes into your hand, right? By saving. And your savings, like I said before, becomes like the seed for wealth, right? Is that is that saving that you just like invest later into something else, right? And one thing that most people actually like feel, I don't know, feel bad about is I want to save and I want to enjoy myself at the same time, right? So, and I've discovered that one of the things, not this is not like a popular dogma. One of the things that actually work is to use 50 20 30 rule. Right? The 50 20 20 rule is just like, oh, you're saying 50% of my income would go to basic needs, right? You know, like 50% of your income goes to basic needs, and 20% goes to unnecessary expenses. Not that they are not important, right? But they're not so important. Like it could be actually kind of stuff. It could be hang out with friends. It could be stuff like that, right? Then 30% goes to savings, paying loans, investment, and all right. That's actually like how it works. And the good part is you can use this to actually like ensure that you save whenever you make money, right? And at the same time, like still enjoy your life, live your best life, right? And the good thing is you can always like switch the 20 and the 30. Let's say this month you need to enjoy more. You can switch, make 30% for enjoyment and the unnecessary stuff, and make 20% for the necessary, right? And you could even make it like 10% instead of 20, right? And the reason is whatever you are doing, just ensure that your saving is never less than 10% of your income. After paying tithes, your saving should still be 10% of what your net income, right? So and that will actually like make it easy. So you don't have to see it like it's a burden or something, right? And then the next thing is protecting savings, right? There's something around savings that actually like becomes so big now. The concept of your money not like the value of your money eroding right in front of your eyes. And these are actually like happened recently that we've had the case of inflation, hyperinflation in Nigeria, right? I mean, it was always like happening like very, very slow before, but now it was like very fast. So, and that's where you need to like protect your savings. So if you see we had saved money somewhere and you lock it up after like 6 months, you bring it out, you can actually buy so much with your money. And one of the ways you can actually like protect your saving is one, to watch out for inflation, right? You can check news, check predictions and all, right? See analyst predictions. So what's the inflation projection for Nigeria looking like? What's the next 6 months going to look like? So let's say you want to save one chunk of money, right? You want to save up 500K for December. Before you actually do that, you want to check, oh, what's the inflation going to look like by December, right? So that you don't lock up 500,000. And the time you withdraw it in December, the 500,000 can only buy something of 300,000. You get, so you have to watch out for inflation. And the way to now hedge against that is one, to save in dollar, right? if you save in dollar, you're saving in the stabilized currency, right? I mean, use something like PiggyVest, right? If you use something like PiggyVest. PiggyVest has a dollar saving feature, right? I think I used that last year. You save in dollar, they pay you interest in dollar every month. And I think throughout last year, I was earning interest in dollar on a particular saving, right? That's one of the ways you can actually protect your savings. So the other thing is you can invest in fixed income assets, right? So fixed income assets are most of the time mutual funds, ETF, and the way it works is, you are you're investing, let's say 100,000 in a particular fixed income, they'll give you X percent at the end of 3 months. They'll give you 20% at the end of 3 months, right? That's what most investing and Ponzi scheme actually like try to tailor after. They are mostly kind of designing their own stuff towards fixed income investment. Fixed income investment is basically you want to invest your capital into something. You know exactly the return you'll be getting at the end of that period. That's why it is fixed, right? And we have different ones that are like very, very legit. Mutual funds, ETF, bonds, stuff like that. You can get them on the stock market. You can get them through platforms like Carrywise and stuff like that, right? You can use this to actually like save you, to like protect your money. The reason is when you use fixed income like that, because they're giving you a particular interest on it, it's edging against inflation. Even though when inflation like try to like erode the value of your money, the interest that you are earning on it would pad up the value back so that you get to protect your money. And one thing that you should actually watch out when you're doing fixed income is don't do fixed income on so long period. You should do it on, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, right? Because the inflation can like switch in the middle. Another thing is when it comes to investing, which is like very applicable to fixed income investment, when you're trying to use it to hedge against inflation, is you should ensure that whatever interest you are getting is beating inflation rates, right? That's why you see the central bank or the Fed, they're always raising, bringing down inflation, adjusting interest rates to actually like control inflation and stuff like that. So you want to check, okay, what does the inflation look like? What's the interest rate of whatever fixed income you're doing? So you don't want to, when inflation is, let's say 20%, you don't want to go invest in a fixed income that is giving you 10% for your period. So that means at the end of the day, inflation would have eaten your money by 20% and you only get 10%. So that means you actually lost 10% of your money value during that time. So you want to put your money, since you're protecting it, you want to put it in something that actually like outperform inflation within that short period that you're like saving up your money, right? So that's like one thing I feel like I should share. Then the way I would actually do like create a budget for me would be, I'll start by creating, the way I will approach this, I'll start by creating budgets. I will understand where's my money coming from, right? Where's my income coming from? Then I'll write them down. Where's my expenses, right? I'll write them down. I'll write my income on one side, write my expenses in another side. Then for my expenses, I'll start to prioritize them. What are the very important ones? For me, it will be like tithe, the first thing. For me, the next thing will be savings. That's like two things that always come first in whatever budget I'm writing, right? And how I will create a budget will be, like I said, I will list out my expenses, my income, then I will prioritize. By the time I prioritize, right, I'll have those two items at the top, right? Then the remaining one, I'll just apply 50-30 to 20 principle to it. Which one falls in the necessities, right? Which one will fall in the 30%, probably the hanging out with friends, the enjoyment, movie kind of stuff. The remaining 20% is already fulfilled because I had already like saved already, making the savings like the second item on my budget list, right? And that way, like I get to like preserve my money. Then the next thing is you have to track your spending. Like after you've written your budget, right? What you want to do is you want to ensure that you're tracking it so that you don't like go off budget. The reason why you're tracking it is one, to achieve your goal. You don't want to say you've written your budget that you want to pay for a particular course, right? And at the end of the day, you probably like went out to get a shirt for an event, right? And you saw a very nice shoe and you like use the money for your course to pay for the shoe. Not that this has happened before, but it's not like a cost stuff. It's just the money I just kept aside, right? And I went to get a shirt for an event, right? And I saw a very nice shoe. You've seen that shoe before, it's white and black, and I like it. God. So when I saw this shoe in the shop, I like, how much is this? They told me the price. Oh, this thing expensive. Oh. I was like, because I had to pay cash and I was not tracking my expenses, I was like, take it off the shelf. I'm buying this thing. And I bought it right. That was like most instantaneous kind of purchase that I've actually made, right? It was like out of emotion because I liked it. Just quality stuff and I got it. So that's one of the reasons why you want to track your expenses, ensuring that you don't go off point. Then the next thing is you want to prioritize your spending, right? You want to prioritize. Obviously, you put your savings first. So when you want to save, you save before you actually start spending your income. Then when you prioritizing your expenses, you want to make sure that you pay for the expenses that are very important first before you start going for the hanging out with friends and stuff. I mean, food, internet. You don't want to be a developer that actually run out of internet middle of the month or middle of the week. So you should prioritize how much you need to spend on internet the moment you start earning income, right? Then the next thing is you have to eliminate unnecessary expenses, right? Human beings are always at the stage where the resources that are available are not always enough. Even for Elon Musk, he wanted to go to the moon, he wanted to buy Twitter, he wanted to do something. All the money he had, as big as it was not enough. He has to like borrow against his assets, which was his Tesla stock, right? So if he was in a stage where his money was not enough, so obviously you will be at that stage too. So what you can do is things that are not important. That's why you see Elon Musk saying he's sleeping in a very small room and stuff like that. He could have like purchased the mansion, right? But it was not like a necessary expense for him. So that's why he's not doing stuff like that, right? So you have to like find a way to cut unnecessary expense. I mean, it could cut unnecessary expense does not mean you have to like strive yourself of enjoyment, right? It could be something as small as sharing a Netflix subscription with somebody, sharing Spotify subscription with somebody, right? I mean, I've been doing that for like almost a year now. I could have paid for a. I listen to music most of the time. I could have paid for Spotify subscription myself. I mean, it's not up to 5K, but I felt like what if I just, I mean, if I share with the other guys that are actually doing family kind of stuff, I mean, it's a group. What I pay is 250 naira per month instead of me paying the whole expense. And I'll still listen to the same music, right? So I feel like that actually like help me reduce my expenses. I mean, it's not wastage. It's just like find a way to spend less because I'll pay 3,000 for a subscription. I get to pay 250. And I mean, you get the gist, right? So then the next thing is save your windfall, right? So let's say you're in a state where you just have one unexpected money. This thing has happened to me before. Just try to find a way to save out of that money, right? Then the next thing is automate your savings. Because you're using 50-20, 50-30-20 rule already, or because you already know how much the percentage of your income you want to save, you could just automate it with all these fintech apps. So you don't have to like feel sluggish when you're transferring a certain amount to somewhere. So you just deduct it immediately, and that makes it very, very easy for you. Then, like I said before, avoid impulse buying because I did impulse buying the time I actually got that shoe. Although I still like the shoe, but every time I review that scenario again, I know that it was a very big impulse buying, something I didn't plan before. What I planned was to buy a shirt of 5K. I bought for a show, saw the nice shoe, liked it. My bill went up to almost 60K. I like, okay, nice, this is good. So you want to avoid impulse buying when you're like saving and budgeting. The whole goal is to organize your expenses and your income, right? To achieve your goal. Your goal is to have more money. And the only way you can have more money is when you save, then you invest your saving into things that bring more value. It could be taking a course, it could be buying a laptop to be better, it could be investing in stocks, investing in other assets and investment stocks, right? Then be mindful of your long-term goals. So whatever your long-term goal is, let's say the end of your January goal for 2025 is you want to pay for a professional certification. Your savings goals for each of the months should be designed to achieving that, right? I mean, you should always have where you're going with your savings goal, right? That makes it easier. It gives you something to look forward to and to motivate you to like stay consistent with it, right? Then that will be all for what I feel like I should share with everybody. And I think we can actually like get to really discuss now, and everybody can share the tip of what has actually worked for them. And we are good. All right. So I don't know if we would love to take the mic first so that we get to the scores. All right. So who's taking the mic first? Anybody want to give us a tip on what actually worked for them or something? Hi, can we hear me? All right. So, can we hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great, great, amazing. Okay, since you already unmute yourself, I mean, you could just give us a tip on what has actually worked for you in this concerning this topic. It's supposed to be a conversation. It might not be a tip, it might just be like, what's your opinion about this and this? But what's that? It could even be a myth. It could even be a myth. Oluwapelu say I will never fall into that trap. It could even be a myth, something you've had that I feel like is not true and stuff like that. So let's just share our opinion to just have a very good conversation.
Well, like my own opinion is this. Actually, I just believe like sometimes we need to settle debt first, as you were trying to say the other time. There are some things like we have to settle first before we go for anything like buying sometimes, or just going for something that you don't plan for. I'm always like that too. Like maybe if I want to go
Yeah.
and get something and I ended up seeing something that I like. There was a certain time that I found out like I have a lot of long shirts, like long sleeve shirts. Then I told myself like I'm going to buy short sleeve shirts this time around if I go to the boutique. At the end of the day, I ended up buying more long sleeve shirts rather than what I went for. So it's just like maybe let me say the priority should be there. And
Yeah.
these days I've learned that um the money the money that we think we want to use for some things, at the end of the day
Yeah.
when we don't use it for what we ought to use it for, we end up
Hmm.
facing the issue of inflation. For example,
Yeah.
maybe you just want to get some things at a certain price, and at the end of the day, you just go ahead and buy another thing that you're not supposed to buy at all, that is not even your priority. So by the time
Hmm.
you get back to that thing that you need to buy, or by the time you save up to go and get that thing that you need to buy, you end up maybe it's a 60K. The next time you get there, it could be even 100K. So that shows like we should stick to our plans these days. That's just my opinion about it. We should stick to our plan. And there's one thing that I think is helping. All these Ajo, yeah, like all this fintech this thing.
Yeah.
Some people use Ajo something, like physical Ajo, that
Yeah.
maybe they have a group that every week they have a commitment. Some people have every month. All those things usually help,
Yeah.
because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you don't bring all those little money together, you will find out that you will spend everything. You will spend everything
Hmm.
with the way things are going these days. That's just my opinion about it. Thank you very much.
All right. That's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that. So, anybody want to share their opinion, thoughts, myths, whatever? I mean,
Yeah, hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I think, yes, all has been said about what I want to say. So I don't think I have much to say again. Yeah, but I think we even need to learn how to stick to plans much much more these days, because uh, anywhere you turn to billing, anywhere you turn to billing, especially for those who are working. So I think we need to learn either how to say no to billing, or how
yeah.
to if I'm communicating, maybe we should start learning that one. How to say no to
Yeah.
some kind of billing. That's what I want to say.
All right. All right. So I think let me add something to that, right? So there's something that I found that actually works, right? So let's say you're the kind of person that people perceive to be like okay in the society and they tend to like do you. I think there's one thing you can actually do, right? Which I found like it works, is create when you're doing your budgeting, create something called black tax, right? An item, just put it in your budget, a black tax. So let's say out of your income, you want to give back to society. People will be. You can just create a budget. So let's say you're earning 150K. If you just create a budget, let's say 5K is what you decide to be your black tax. Anybody that asks for data, that asks for I beg send me 1K, I beg send me 500. My ATM decline for somewhere. Say if it is out of that 5K that you like take and give those small places of billing. So by the time you are done with that budget that you set for black tax, people are asking you and billing you, you know that like that's completely gone. You just have to say, oh sorry, I'm actually I think that way it helps you like one, clear your conscience of it's not like you can be like stingy and I don't want to help people. And at the same time, instead to like help you like stay focused on what your own journey personally. Right? I don't know if this would help anybody, but just putting it out there.
Yes, I think that will work for me because I think you really speak to me. Yeah, I would try it out at this time. So I would see the results because they really want to kill me, and it's making me overshooting my savings. So, thank you,
All right.
sir.
So when you try it, just you can just drop in the on the community WhatsApp group and let's see. You could just tell us that it actually worked or something. So we could all learn from that. All right, great.
Okay,
So
sir.
anybody want to share with us?
Please, let me call Ogechi Triumph. Please, she should come and share.
Anti Triumph.
Pelumi, leave me alone now. I don't have anything specific. Like Chris has mentioned majority of the stuff, right? So I
Sorry,
also read. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay, so I think where I learned most of my saving tips from was some people Rich Dad. Was it Richest Man in Babylon? Sorry, I was trying to mistake. So that's where I learned most of my saving stuff. So once I get any money in my account, the first two things I do is I pay my tithes. I have my church account number as a beneficiary, and I have my savings account as a beneficiary. So once I do those first two things, I pay my tithes, I save, and me when I save until something really urgent comes up. I don't touch my savings. And just like Chris said, I also have black tax because I know that someone is going to call me. Child, please just bring me 5K. This thing happened. I need 2K. I need that one. So I have a budget for black tax. So sometimes I have that and I can easily send to someone. And something happened last month. Last month I had a budget for black tax. No, that was in February. But I could not give anybody because one morning my phone decided to spoil and I needed to get a new phone that same week because I was not in the mood to go and repair the phone again. So thank God for my savings. My savings saved me that period. I used my savings to get a new phone, but I could not give out black tax. Not that I did not have the money. I still had the money, but I was like, if I give out this money, I've spent a lot on getting a new phone. If I give out this money right now, it's going to affect me in my own personal spending, being me buying stuff to cook. Everybody, if you know me here, you know I love to cook and I like to always have a lot of stuff to cook, right? So I could not just give out black tax that month. And I had a lot of it. The devil was pushing me that month. A lot of people were calling me, and my perfect excuse was, I'm sorry, I just got a new phone. I don't have money to give out. I'm sorry, I just got a new phone. I don't have money to give out. So that was just
I like that.
that was my excuse to everybody. I'm sorry, my phone just spoiled. I just got a new one. I can't really give out money right now. I spent a lot. Probably next time or something like that. So that was just it for me. So like the things I do. So once I pay my tax and I save, I know okay. The remaining thing I have to do is I have to put out some money that and I keep track of my finance, right? Even down to if I have a general bag of pills that I buy, I'm that detailed with my finance. So I keep track of all of that. So that's when I want to buy stuff for the month. I transfer the money I want to spend in the month for my feeding to my OPay account. So I know that every money I'm transferring from OPay is for my life. That I want this to buy food, or I want this to keep my home, I want this to buy soap, groceries, and all of those kind of stuff. So basically, that's just how I manage. I have an account that I know I'm transferring from. I'm transferring my OPay. I'm transferring from my personal stuff. If I'm transferring from another account, I'm probably transferring to purchase a gadget, or I'm transferring to save, or I'm transferring to invest, or those kind of stuff. So that's how I've been able to like manage my own savings. When I save, and I don't touch my savings. That is like really important, and I keep track of everything on an Excel sheet. I'm a data babe, so I keep track of everything on an Excel sheet. So as little as
What do you expect? What do you
so
expect?
it's that bad. I keep track of everything. If I buy Maggie 15 naira, it's going on my sheet that I bought Maggie 15 naira because I want to.
Hold up. Say that again. Say that again.
If I buy Maggie 15 naira, it's going to my Excel sheet as an
Wow.
expense.
So you keep track to that stage.
I
Wow.
keep track to that stage. Like it's that bad because I had money issues before, and I told myself I'm never going to go back to having money issues. That I cannot tell you where my money is going. So that's why there's a period I was out of job, but I still had money because I knew that okay, this is how much I spend in a month. If my phone does not go bad, if my laptop does not go bad, this is how much I spend in a month. And I knew that okay, I can still cater for myself for the next 3 months if I don't find a job. Because if I'm spending this amount every month and I had like an extra money in case of inflation, Nigeria is that like that. So yeah, that would have worked for me. Are you satisfied, Mr. Kwenomi?
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, that
Thank you
was
very
why
much
I
for
was
that.
actually pointing at Ogechi. She has plenty money, you understand?
I don't
That's
have
why.
money, truth.
Anyways, so for my own hand,
To that stage. Wow.
I'm still going to come back to you and to Triumph. I'm coming back, but sorry, Chris, are you saying something? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry for that.
All right. So from my own end, I think what I just want to contribute is something I've seen someone do. So there is this thing on Kuda app, the future spend and save. So I think I haven't used it personally. I mean, I don't have that much plenty money yet, but something that I actually want to work towards. That for every amount you spend, like there is an amount, that same amount is being locked into your savings
Yeah,
account.
yeah. I think I've heard of something like that before. So when you
Yeah.
spend, you save
It's
immediately.
exactly. So for every 5K you spend, you save five instantly. So it helps
Ah,
you mitigate your your spending.
the
So perhaps you
truffle.
have 100K. If you spend 50K, you know that you're out of
Wait, hold on, back on me. So you are saying that that day that I bought shoe of 50 something K, I would have saved 50K.
exactly like automatically.
Ah,
Like I said, I don't have plenty money yet, so I haven't tried it
life
myself.
for truffle, eh?
You see, I said people have plenty money in this world. Example is the triumph, you understand? Anyways, so okay, another thing I just wanted to mention is I think you mentioned most of it, but I just want to put more light to the saving in dollar, right? Because I saw a meme of recent when dollar drops to about 1,250, and people the meme was like saving dollar. Now dollar don't drop, who go save me now, right? So like I think like you said about speculating, like checking for news to know when things are going to like to be financially aware, not just to make what's it called mistakes. Because according to my own speculations, I still believe dollar will still actually go up because we don't really have a stable economy yet. We don't have exports to back up the drop in which naira actually came down. We don't have a lot of resources and structures to actually back it up. So most very very soon, actually, it's not because I eat naira. In fact, I think I like Nigeria more than an average Nigerian actually. But let's just keep it that way. So naira is still going to plummet, but just to save people from buying like at the wrong time. So there is something like buying high and selling low and all that people the mistake that people make. Just to I don't know, maybe Chris can help put more light to it. Like when you're buying like foreign currency or you're buying cryptocurrency, make sure it is not.
Hold on. Investor me. We can buy high and sell low. You see, investing.
You can buy high and sell low.
So I was just joking there with that. Okay, so the thing is, this that I found is actually for when it comes to dollar and foreign exchange stuff, especially for personal finance, when it comes to saving with it, right? it should more be like a long term kind of stuff, right? Right. It should be like a long term kind of stuff because the whole concept is, except for people that are trying to do arbitrage, where you're like trying to like make money from the difference between two currencies, like that's more like in the short term, that has risks to it, right? I mean, you could buy dollar today at 1.7 and tomorrow morning you could wake up to it as 1,005. That's the risk of it. Or you could buy it at 1.7 and the next morning you could wake up to it at 1,000, what's it called, 1,000, 1,009, 2,000. I mean, let me give you an example. So the time that dollar was like going so super crazy, or I would say naira was going so super crazy. I was working on, and I was working on a job, right? And I was being paid in dollar, right? Because I was freelancing, right? So what happened is I got paid. So I was supposed to get paid like weekly. So I got paid for the first week. I thought, oh, let me just, since naira is going crazy, let me just keep it in naira, in dollar. So by the time it will get to the following week, the money will sharajo, like they used to say in Yoruba, and the naira that is doing crazy will have done enough crazy again, so that the difference will have. I mean, I'll do big boy. Only for the next week to come, and the time me I want to say let me withdraw, I'm seeing naira as 1,005. I like, this was not what we discussed now. Yesterday it was 2,000. When I want to withdraw, it was 1.5. So that's the that's the what's it called, the downside to saving in dollar and that kind of stuff, right? But what I found that actually works, right, is you're not doing it on a short term. You're doing it if you want to really protect your savings. You know that you're saving in dollar on a long term. Long term being 3 months, 6 months, right? If you look at the prices of dollar, it's people that are actually saying, okay, naira is falling. Let me convert my naira now to dollar. And by the time price change tomorrow, they are being affected. It's because they don't have like a long-term plan. So let's say, for example, now I had saved some funds in dollar last year. I just left it there. The reason why I left it there was because I know I was not going to touch this thing in the next 6 months. I just wanted to have it in that, right? I know that in the next 6 months, Naira might do anyhow, but for that, I want to edge against that. I want to save in dollar. Doing that, I'm not concerned about whatever dollar is doing tomorrow morning or Naira is doing tomorrow morning, right? You get. So I feel like if you want to do that, you should really do it when you're doing on a long-term basis, 3 months, 2 months, not 1 week. You need money next week. You want to keep it in dollar. All right. It's the foreign exchange market is so volatile. If you need money next week, don't convert it to any currency. Just keep it in that your naira. But you need money after 1 month, after 2 months, 3 months, and all. That's when you can start to think of, okay, dollar. But if it's next week money, just keep your money in your GTB bank and let whatever inflation want to do, let it happen to it, right? So I think that's what I would add for it. Kalim, you want to take the mic?
Yeah. I think that's just it. I just wanted to point that out. Thank you for more
Yeah.
light. Yeah, but please, like I said, I was coming back from Auntie Ogechi. Auntie Ogechi, can you please help us share us like probably the tools you use, like the sheets you use on keeping track of finances? Because I've
Oh,
tried myself, like trying to write down everything.
okay.
Isn't that
There's,
fun?
there's something that I would do, right? So give me a minute. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can give us access to it. So there's a template I've actually created on budgeting and for budgeting. So I feel like it could come in handy. So I think it's on 1 minute. I think it's on yeah, it's on Seller. I just put it there. For one is free, the other one is not free. But for everybody that's attending this that is here, so let me create a coupon code that we can use that would just, you can check it out. And Triumph also should share what you use so that everybody can learn from both sides, right? That would be amazing. So let me create the coupon code now. So if anybody wants to take the mic, please go ahead while I create the coupon code.
Um, oh,
Okay,
sorry, please speak.
Triumph, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to respond to Pelumi's question. Pelumi, I would try and share the sheet that I used to use, but the sheet I used to use, I don't know if it's worth sharing because I have I have my Mago where I used to do my stuff. But I think there was this template on Google Sheets I used to use at a particular point in time. So there's a
Yeah.
template on Google Sheets. It's called annual budgeting, I think. It's one of the first templates you see when you open your Google Sheets. Pretty
Yeah.
simple. Pretty simple to use. You have to just fill in the next sheet that shows your income and your expense, and then it gives you a summary on the sheet in front of it. I used to use that one before I say, okay, oh, I'm a data babe, let me use my thing and do myself, and I started flexing my skills on my own sheets. But if I have time to clean up my sheet and create a template out of it, I will share. But
All
that
right.
Google
That would
Sheet
be
template
nice.
really works too.
Thank you very much. That would be amazing. All right. So I'm dropping the link now to the paid one that I actually created, and that's a coupon code that I just created that would make you get it for free. The other one is completely free, so just try that. The coupon code is community. Just copy and paste. You get it. So any other person wants to take the mic and share something for us to learn before we call it a night. Anybody? Lily, okay, Faith Mike has shared something. Samuel Jacobs, you were raising your hand initially.
Okay. Hi everyone once again.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, just on what Pelumi said the other time about the feature and Curry wise that you have to save almost the amounts you deposited or you let out of the account. So there's something like that on Kuda, but it's much better and I think I prefer that one. So you can set it to save as in terms of percentage. So take for instance, if you are sending 10,000 naira and you have set your percentage gauge to be money out at 10%. So 10% of 10,000 naira is just 8,000 naira. So it's going to automatically save 1,000 naira for you. So I think that feature is much better. Although it's not locked, but I use that feature for me. Just like you said, you said something about when you want to give people money. You called it a particular name. I can't remember now. So for me, it's okay. So it's called save and spend. So anytime I have like less than maybe 10,000 naira in my save and spend, you should like heaven and earth should be breaking. I can't give you shishi. I'll just tell you, bros, Nagaria the drink. So that's what works for me.
I mean, that's cool. I think that other one that you mentioned works more better, right? So it doesn't have to be exactly the amount that you are spending. It could be 10%, 20% of the amount. And I think that actually can, in some way, discourage you from actually spending some money that you're not supposed to spend. Ah, God, I don't make mistake. Oh, but let's continue. All right. Yeah, so anybody wants to share something with us again? Lily, Abimbola, you want to share with us? I think everybody on this call has shared already. If you'd like to share with us, you could just unmute your
There's nothing I want to say. I just want to tell Ati Triumph that I'll be in that DM very soon. Let me come and collect my own percentage of black tax. At least I'm black. I'm a taxer.
It's good to be black. One advantage of being black, you can always collect tax from people. All right, great. I think I'm not sure the other two people would like to share. So I think it's been an exciting time, right? So let's just call it a night. And so I feel like we're going to be doing this more often, right? Especially for the guys in the WhatsApp community. Nice one. I will run April Fool. Nice one. Okay. So like I was saying, I feel like I don't know yet. I mean, my schedule is kind of like changing over time, right? One day I can be here trying to do something. The other day I can be like hustling for pushing things and moving things around. So, but I feel like we could do this more often, right? Apart from the general webinars that I host, we could just have like sessions like this. It could be anytime during the week. It could be weekend, right? And we could just have a topic, right, where we could just discuss personally. Everybody get to share their opinion. We get to learn. I mean, even from here now, I've learned from what Pelumi shared, from what Jacob shared, and from what virtually everybody shared. And it's been an amazing time. So going forward, we'll do this more often if we want to do it more often, not me. So if we want to do it more often, we'll do this more often. We'll pick topics that we feel like we could brainstorm around. And we'll have an exciting time discussing like this. So it will take the same structure, a little bit of shenanigan at the beginning, me trying to give opinion. Then everybody would pick the conversation from there and would have an amazing time. We'll record it for guys that would love to listen. And okay, if possible, the recording will be available on Seller for purchase at let's say 1,000. So by the time we get people to buy, we could use the money that particular recording make as giveaway for all of us that year. So all right, guys, thank you very much for the time. I do hope we really gained value for joining the space. So please do drop your feedback, drop feedback. If you'd like to drop a feedback, drop a feedback. And please, let's enjoy the rest of our night. Try of now only give away a year out of everything where I talk. I saw.
No, no, like we go chop our own giveaway for our side. You understand?
Okay, let's meet after the meeting.
After service.
Let's meet after service.
Anyways, I just want to say big thanks for what's it called, the resource that you shared. It's actually I'm looking through it now. It's actually very. I'll explore it more and then to see.
I think
can,
it
because
comes
I'm
it
actually
comes with a video though. So hope you saw the
really.
video. Yeah, it
I
comes with
haven't I haven't
an
checked it.
explanation video.
I will look through it to get through this video.
All right. All right, guys. Please let's enjoy ourselves and cheers to a World Year 2024. All right. So let's stop recording and sorry, I can't play music right now. I don't